What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Live Wealthy back with another video today, taking a look at Snapchat stock as it surged almost 30% today after a huge earnings surprise. So real quick, if you want to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, I try to do videos on Apple on a daily basis, as well as other stocks that I see taking off or I think are about to take off. And comment down below if you were able to take advantage of Snapchat surging today. So let's take a look at the daily chart really quick, and then we'll kind of take a look at, why exactly it surged, what the future price targets are, and so on. So taking a look at the one-day chart, what we see is it had a huge gap up. So it was trading in the 28s, opened near the high 34s, 35s, and went all the way to 38.89, and then saw a little bit of a sell-off, profit taking, and then overall the weak market that we had today probably weighed on it a little bit. So that is what caused it to sell off 28% in one day. The company is now has a market cap of $53 billion. 28% on a pretty large company there. Taking a look at, the indexes are relatively flat. NASDAQ was down 0.28%. Dow was down 98 points or 0.35%, and then S&P was down 0.19%. So compared to all of that, for it to surge almost 30%, right? At one point even higher, and then ending the day up 28%. Taking a look at the year-to-date chart, what we see is it was kind of uptrending and then hit the 19s and then was downtrending, going all the way down to 789 at the sort of down point of the pandemic. Has made higher highs since then. The general trend has been up. A little bit of a sell-off, right, from the 26s down, and then came right back up, and then we were in the 28s before we saw this huge jump. So between, let's say, July all the way to sort of September, for those 2 months it traded flat, went down and then went back up, but then a huge earnings beat today. So what exactly happened? We'll take a look at 3 articles, one being sort of how their earnings turned out, then some price targets set by banking institutions, and then what that means for the general sort of ad revenue market. There's no real point looking at moving averages and EMAs because they're all the way down there based on where the stock was trading, and the huge gap up doesn't really give us an accurate point of support. Don't think it's going to fill the gap, right, unless somehow a lot of people do a profit taking, or we see some really bad news come out of Snap. But other than that, it should be there will be profit taking. It might fall a little bit, or maybe it continues the ride up if we see a positive market. So they had revenues of $678 million, which is up 52% year over year, versus $559.2 million estimates. So as we can see, over $100 million in beating the revenue estimates, right? Almost $120 million is what it beat it by, which is huge, more than 20%. Daily active users are 249, up 18% year over year, versus 244 million. So again, beating estimates there. And then the best thing is that their earnings per share adjusted was positive. Now it was 1 cent positive, right? So not really huge earnings or anything, but that's compared to an estimated loss, which is huge, right? The company's not taking a loss. I think it's its second time that it posted a profit. Don't quote me on that. That's just something I remember reading somewhere. But when that happened yesterday, it shot up 20% and then continued that rally into today. So now taking a look at whether or not maybe it's a good buy right now. So 6 Wall Street firms, as you can see by the title, now expect Snap's stock to surge more than 37% after it had a blowout quarter. So just kind of scrolling down, what we see is Goldman Sachs, 47 price target. As we see, it's trading in the 36s right now. 65% upside from Tuesday's close. Now Tuesday's close was way down. One day was way down there, so that doesn't really do us much good. But 47, RBC 45, JP Morgan 42, Stifel 40, Deutsche 40, Credit Suisse 39. So, no matter which one of those you look at, there is upside in the stock according to Wall Street. Just something to keep in mind. And then the third thing that I really want to point out is, because Snapchat beat their earnings, we saw a lot of other shares doing really well today, some of which are Facebook, Google, Twitter, and Pinterest, just because investors were, so happy about what happened with Snapchat being a largely ad-based platform. A lot of, initial estimates were that, ad revenues would be down as companies sort of cut spending and maybe don't want to, invest that much in it. But shares in tech companies like Pinterest, Facebook, Alphabet, and Google, right, were, Alphabet and Twitter were also up, and that's supposed to be, really good for online advertising, just sort of in general, right? Pinterest jumped 9%, Facebook was up 4%, Google closed up 2%, and all of these are numbers that are happening in a relatively flat / downtrending market, right? The past couple of days have not seen a lot of upward movements. There's been a lot of profit taking, a lot of uncertainty. So for, not only Snapchat to do as well as it did, but for it to cause other companies to sort of be trading positive as well is a big deal. Now, one thing that I do want to kind of remind you guys is, if you watch my other videos, I've been saying this over and over again, but be careful when you're trading right now, right? There's a lot of, uncertainty around the stimulus, around the election, coronavirus. So if you were taking, positions, make sure to monitor them, take profits as you go, and not to, get kind of caught up in the sell-off if one happens, because we were supposed to have a stimulus deal yesterday and the deadline was yesterday, Tuesday, but then they're still talking about it. I personally don't see it happening, but hey, they're talking about it. They're maybe inching closer to a deal. Who knows? I personally think it could happen after the election. So if, the deal gets canceled totally, maybe some more sell-off, maybe some sell-off as we head into the election and the uncertainty around that. So just be careful with that. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and let me know if there's other stocks that you want me to take a look at, and I'd love to do that for you. So let's remember to be a bit better every single day. And until next time.